Вот сколько я себя помню, я всегда рисовала.
Наша робота у співавторстві, вона була, власне кажучи, питанням часу.
Ми звичайні люди у надзвичайній ситуації. В Україні це війна професійних нападників проти захисників-аматорів.
Прилетіли. Вот. І ще летять.
Серед іншого письменників, музикантів, вчителів, художників.
Вони мають бути навчені настільки добре, настільки це можливо у цих умовах.
По ній коротку очередь. Туду!
Коли вони стирають цих людей, вони стирають Україну.
Спротив злу має бути безкомпромісним.
Тримайся, друже, заберемо тебе зараз. Держись, котик. Все будет хорошо, мы тебя вывезем.
Історії, що ми їх розповідаємо через мистецтво, це теж наш спротив.
Самые отвратительные моменты войны будет не лишним просто улыбнуться.
Людей не так, щоб складно налякати, але важко заборонити їм життя. Україна як порцеляна, яку легко розбити та неможливо знищити.
First, I just want to say thank you for this incredible film. It's just a magical, special piece of work. Hope you all agree. And I just want to start by asking, how is everybody in the film, the main characters? Where are they right now, and how are they doing?
Oh, thank you so much for this question. Most important question for me, because we are so lucky. Every one of my friends in Saigon unit survived so far. It's a miracle because after Battle of Bakhmut, they have even more horrible battle in Avdiivka and near Kupiansk after this. And right now they are defending our native city. They are defending Kharkiv. They are in battle right now.
They're in combat right now?
Yes.
Are you in touch with them? No,
we have,
you can't be. Can you be in touch with them? Is that possible?
You text it.
Yes, we have the same chat. I connected for everyone, and we are in everyday conversation.
Oh.
And also about other persons in our movie. Andrei, our cinematographer, he's in Kharkiv now, and his family, Lena and girls, they are safe in Luxembourg. But this family is still broken apart like millions of families in Ukraine. Nothing ended, all continues.
Yeah. Well, I think that also makes the film all the more important for us to see it. Now, Brendan, how did you get involved in this film? Let's start with that.
This is a very, very important, kind of very personal question. So it actually turns out that one of our producers, Aniela Sidorska, grew up under Russian oppression in communist Poland. And she became a political refugee when her parents escaped to the United States. And about 8 years ago, she discovered Anya and Slava's figurines, and she was so moved by them, not only because they really reminded her of home, but because she told me something recently that was so beautiful. She was saying, when art is made under oppression, it's trying to exist on a whole nother level. And the stories on this tiny canvas were larger than life. So the four of us, Aniela and I, are husband and wife, Slava and Anya, as you guys know, we started a collaboration on an animation project, and then Russia invaded Ukraine. We called up Slava and Anya to say, are you guys okay? When are you leaving? What's happening? And Slava said, no, we're going to stay. We're going to keep making our art during the night. And I said, why? What are you doing during the day? I'm in the Ukrainian Special Forces, and I'm teaching everyday people, peaceful people, my friends, how to fight back. And I thought, this is absolutely remarkable, these forms of resistance, one unexpected, civilian soldiers against this invasion, everyday people, farmers, doctors, and yet the exact opposite thing that you think someone will do in a war zone, create art. And we thought, maybe we could share the story with the world. Maybe if there's a way to get a camera in. Right. So we began the first of many challenges. How do you bring a camera into a war zone? We didn't know what to do. It's not like you could just ship something and it, reliably gets FedExed right there to the front line. We discovered there was a network of volunteers, and it was actually a makeup artist from New Jersey who was stockpiling. No. She quit her job, and she would fill up her apartment with duffel bags of medical supplies, 50, 60 at a time, 3,000 pounds. 3 trucks would show up at her house, and they'd bring everything to the airport in New York. And she said, I'm going to take this, I'm bringing it into Poland, and I'm going to drive it all the way up to Kharkiv, where Slava is. I'll bring the camera to him. And we said, okay, let's begin. But to begin in this circumstance meant we have to acknowledge we're 6,000 miles apart. Slava's English has become amazing, but at the time, we didn't speak a word of the same language. We could only communicate over Zoom with an interpreter. And we were separated by the largest conflict in Europe since World War II. So we said, okay, that's not going to stop us. Let's do it. So we set up an impromptu film school over Zoom so that Slava and Andrei could take their artistic instincts and translate them into cinema. And what they learned to capture became the footage you guys are seeing on the screen.
Incredible. Yes. Wow. And go ahead.
Well, this is only the very, very beginning of this process. So we started to capture this footage, but what occurred was we were seeking a really rich collaboration. And yet you're trying to communicate over Zoom with an interpreter. You're waiting for this translation. And in this time, Slava and I, through kind of just trying to get something out, we would start sketching. And these sketches became storyboards and diagrams, ideas for shots. We looked at paintings, sculptures, and pieces of cinema that we loved. And we realized we're fluent in the same language, in visual art. And so we had this very rich collaboration. We would work in the morning, we would look at dailies. But this is the first time I'd ever done a documentary. It's the first, Aniela and I come from narrative film, from a background of animation and visual effects. And we reached out to a really dear friend, Joe Barnathan, and said, do you know any documentary filmmakers who could help? And Joe said, I'm going to introduce you to somebody, a master documentary storyteller, Paula DuPré Pesman. And we connected and started sharing footage with you, Paula, and that opened up a whole other world of how this film came together.
Okay, that's a good handoff to Paula. So talk about, so when you came into the project, what was your role and sort of what were you thinking that you would contribute exactly?
Yeah, we got on Zoom, and I loved them immediately and what they wanted to do, and they talked about what they had started. And I saw some footage. I saw a little bit of footage, and it was beautiful. And it was just this, I didn't expect that. I made documentaries for a long time, but I hadn't seen that beauty.
Right. I mean, that is also what's so poignant about the film is, especially the beginning images of the film, and is threaded throughout the film. Is that what you're talking about? Like the images of the nature images, the animals, that
and their art. And just the lighting and the intuitiveness of where to put the camera and the shots they were doing. And it just felt like something I absolutely wanted to be a part of and wanted to help support. And so we started working really closely. Brendan and Yella and I worked very closely, and then over Zoom, several times a week with Slava and Anya and Andre.
Okay, so I'm just trying to picture this. So the two of you are in the United States on a Zoom camera. You're directing, you're producing, but sort of directing. Yeah, and you're carrying a camera, or sometimes, right, but you're not actually at all present.
This is wherein you make a discovery about what it is to direct, what it is to collaborate. To direct a film is about your taste, your artistic intention, the decisions that you make, the perspective, the artistry. So when you remove the idea of physical presence from directing, everything remains the same. You're looking into a situation and you're asking yourself, how can editing, art, camera position, time, feeling, rhythm, all of these things bring the audience, reduce that distance between the screen and the world that they're living in Ukraine down to zero so that it enters your heart. And that's done whether or not you were there in person or not. And in fact, it's actually became something completely unexpected, an advantage. So we had sent one camera at the very beginning, and Slava had begun to film, and Andrei had begun to film, and the footage was so powerful. At that time, I had wanted to go in solidarity and support with them. But Paula and I were looking at this together with Aniela, and we made a different decision.
Yeah, we felt that if we would have gone there, they would have suddenly been waiting for us to, where the cameras go, what are they, like they were making those decisions, and it was so intimate and personal, and it was a side of war we had never seen before. We are, you see news footage, but you don't see this personal, intimate story and them showing the world what's so beautiful and what they're fighting for and what they're trying to protect. And so we set up they would set up the cameras, and I would be in Colorado where I live on Zoom, and they were in Los Angeles and in Ukraine. And we just started asking questions. We needed to understand, what is the story that they're trying to tell? The first day we said, how did you meet? And they told that story that's in the film. And that just started to lay the groundwork for learning more about what they're doing, what they're filming, and why. And then we started editing the film in the same way the footage was coming in. That juxtaposition, the war is right outside their door. It's not something they go away to, it's right there. So the footage would come in that way. One day it was nature, the next day it might be a training, the next night they're doing art. So we thought they're giving us a little bit of an idea of what it's like to actually live in war. And so we wanted to tell that story with that juxtaposition.
Slava, was it strange to you to work in this way and to introduce this idea to all your friends and your family and your colleagues that we're making a film with these Americans, it's going to be cool?
It was really surrealistic, but it's already surrealistic just to have the war right outside your door. It's enough. It's hard to add something to this, but they add when I get these huge black bags with weird mix inside. Okay, it's bulletproof vest for me. It's camera. It's medicine supplies, it's sound recorder, it's microphone, it's drone for fight, it's additional drone for take this footage and so on. It was really surrealistic, but we felt really good. I love collaboration. I love any kind of collaboration. We work in collaboration with Anya, and it was completely new level of collaboration.
But this is your first film, right?
Oh, yes, it's my first film, but we felt behind us, our amazing team, their creativity and their professional skills and kindness, because it's Paula turned all in more personal, more personal experience, and to add more humanity in idea of our movie. And I was surrounded of amazing people around me, people in my unit, these regular people who came to defend their homes, and because they felt kind of responsibility in the face of history. And Andrei, our cinematographer, we were not ready to invite to our stressful life some guy from outside, but Andrei is part of our family. It's our very close friend, and it was not so easy for Andrei because he's perfectionist. For every question he have answer, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And when I ask, Andrei, I need you because you are Tai Chi master. I need your help to touch civilians because on shooting range, seniors and pregnant girls and really sick people. I need your help, or like personal help for people with health issues. he told, I'm not ready. I say, okay, Andrei, when you arrived, you were ready. And when I asked Andrei, we need you to film us, of course, he answered, I'm not ready. But I know Andrei many years, and I told, okay, Andrei, of course you are not ready right now. We still not get camera. We will get camera tonight, and we'll be ready like tomorrow morning. And he started to film, and his first role in our movie, open our movie. He's really amazing, and because his amazing sense of taste and ideas about picture. Of course, I interrupted him first time as director without any experience. I all time forced Andrei to do something. I told Andrei, I need this angle, this motion, this direction. What you doing, Andrei? I asked you about something else. And then I asked his perfectionist. He answered me, Slava, okay, I already filmed all what you want. Now keep calm and try to do something extra. And when I watch his footage, I pretty soon I understood his solution. Anytime his solution is much better than any of my ideas, and I completely forgot about cameras.
And when we get the footage, it's coming in, and they're bickering, and it's all gets translated. So I've got 400 hours of subtitled footage of these guys arguing about where to put the camera. And every time, Andrei, it's a very good idea.
I was going to say, one of the shots that people often say is one of their most favorite shots of the film is when Anya blows the dandelion. And that was Andrei's first shot that he ever shot.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I want, that was really going to be my next question is who created the visual language of the film? And maybe the answer is Andrei, I don't know, because it's so poetic that
it's a very deep collaboration, because this metaphoric language of Anya's art assembled all together. Her artistic language, this very metaphoric language, came from nature.
Yeah.
And Anya find all these metaphors like these dandelions, about fragility and sometimes about danger, and these snails without shell like refugees, or these empty shells like abandoned buildings. And Andrei, very familiar with our Anya's art, and me, it was easy for us find in nature, find around us in any situation something connected to Anya's metaphoric language, to Anya's art. Also, from the very beginning, Anya decided we'll be never focused on destruction, we'll be never focused on violence, because it's senseless to bring to audience kind of extra news footage. We'll be focused on personal experience and on beauty. All devastation look the same. All this crumbled building look the same. And much more interesting to show what may be destroyed. Beauty of nature, and especially beauty of these people who are ready.
But a lot of that language is why it works so, it has such a deep effect on, at least at me as a viewer, and hope I imagine everyone else here is showing both, showing that delicate beauty of nature, and then it's contrasted like in the next shot with something, the result of the violence, and somehow it does feel poetic, tragic and poetic, but also just beautiful in a disturbing way, I guess.
Was this contrast, it was in our life, and we really look around, we felt we are eyes of our project, we are people on the ground, and we look around really attentively, because all is so fragile during the war, and we filmed every flowers, every huge forest, or building, or person, We filmed all like if it was the last day of their existence, because all is fragile and nobody knows who will survive for tomorrow.
And what happened is this, it's as Slava is saying, it's not a contrast that was engineered cinematically. It's a contrast that existed in their circumstance when it was met with their choices. The opposite of war is not peace and tranquility, it's creativity. And when they're choosing to seek out beauty, to be inspired by it, and to create more, that is an act of resistance, of creative resistance. And when this comes into the cut, we work to honor that. We work to use cinema to reflect it and to also create a meditative space in which the audience can let their imagination fill in everything beyond the edges of the frame, beyond the soundscape that we present, that Slava so meticulously recorded. It's an invitation for you to experience what they're experiencing.
So do you want to talk about the score and the music and how you use that? It's so amazing.
Big
Who are
yes.
those ladies at the end? Anyway,
We could talk about this. This is a little bit of a, we were all, to tell this story, we all three have to talk a little bit. I asked Slava early in the process if there was a band that he loved, if there was something that they really were feeling passionate about. And he said, you have to listen to TheWrap. Not only this, Andrei listens to them while he paints. So I thought, this is very interesting. And he played for me Vesna, the song that begins this film and comes full circle in this performance at the end. It means spring. And it was like stepping into a portal. It was like going into another dimension. And the thing that struck me about this, it was completely unique. I had never heard anything like it before, but it was absolutely universal. It wasn't esoteric. It was punching straight through into my heart. And it had the deepest lamentation and the most soaring, elated feelings. It was incredible. And so we began to cut one scene and another to this, and we started to experiment more and more, and we started to share the scenes with Paula. And Nell and I were cutting on the Avid, and we kind of kept going.
Yeah, so as producer, Nell and I both started to panic because we're like, okay, this is amazing, and there's nothing like it, so we have to find them. So we went to their website, and they were traveling to a different city in different countries every day. So we start messaging them and emailing them, get another scene from Brendan, TheWrap. I'm like, okay, this is just so perfect. And we looked and saw their video and their costumes, and their cello was painted like a drone, and we're like, they're a character in this film. Get a third scene, TheWrap. We still couldn't find them. We were DMing them. We were emailing. I was waking up in the middle of the night, and then I'd get a text from Aniela. She was up in the middle of the night. We're like, what are we going to do about TheWrap? And then finally we got tickets to their show in Los Angeles. We were going to hold up a sign. We were all prepared.
where?
They were coming to LA. Oh, we were at the Ford Theater.
Okay.
Yes, and we were so excited. We got matching shoes. We were going to get a big sign. We're like, what can I do? These shoes look really TheWrap-like. And we're like, we'll hold a big sign. We didn't even know what we were going to put on it yet. And they wrote back. And so we were so happy. We popped on a Zoom at 6 a.m. with the manager, and she was in tears. She had shelling all night around her building in Kyiv. And she said, we were like, you're artists, they're artists. You're just a part of this story. And she said, we're giving you all the music, the stems, the unreleased, the release, you can have it all. And we explained that we had a licensing budget and we would like to give them that money. And she said they were going to donate it to an organization that helps musicians and their families that are fighting. So the money for the music all went back, and it was just the perfect collaboration again with art for the movie.
I mean, that's such a great story because it feels it's a character in and of itself.
Yeah, and these guys got to meet him finally.
First time in person in the United States, we met them.
You were a groupie. So I have to ask you, Slava, how are you feeling right now? We have a new president who has gotten on the phone with Vladimir Putin without calling your president, Zelensky. How are you feeling right now? What's the vibe back in Ukraine?
Anyone can support Vladimir Putin. He was the president of the United States. But Ukraine is strong. Ukraine have not other choice. Ukraine still can to fight against Russia, and Ukraine only. Now only Ukraine can fight against, can fight back, because nobody have this experience. Nobody in Europe have this experience. Ukraine is important for Europe now, more than Europe important for Ukraine, because nobody else can defend Europe right now.
So from your perspective, because this film was made, much of it 2 years ago, do people feel the same? That they are still determined to fight? They're not, I'm sure they were exhausted by the war, without a doubt.
When we filmed, my commander answered Western correspondents. He's a very educated guy. He's history professor of our university, and his major is modern Russian war, like war in Chechnya. He established our preparation, our military preparation of the annexion of Crimea, and that is why we survived. And when we filmed, he answered to Western correspondents, okay, we already destroyed 50% of Soviet army. Let us just finish this process. Just help us with power. And now we really destroy majority of Russian tank, armored vehicle. They really need help from Korea. They are using pretty old Korean hard weapon and ammunition, and even soldiers. They really need help. Maybe they will get help from President of the United States, but it's not our issue. We already okay.
Wow.
Ukraine is strong. Anyone can be weak. We have not this choice. We have not this option. We must be strong.
Yes. There.
But anyway, back to our movie. Because nobody needs war experience, and nobody wants to watch war movie because war is horrible and disgusting, and nobody wants to be upset. And we decide from the very beginning our responsibility as artists, and our responsibility as filmmakers, maybe first time, but anyway, our responsibility is to bring hope and inspiration to audience. And these people who are ready to defend independence and preserve humanity and even develop culture in so dark time, I hope these people can inspire you.
Well, I don't think we can improve on that statement, so I think we'll just leave it there. Thank you so much, Brendan. Thank you, Slava. Thank you, Paula. What a beautiful film.
Pleasure. If you guys are so interested, there's a reason I brought this bag here. You guys have an excellent imagination inside of this bag.
What is it? What's inside?
Things you've seen on the big screen, but now you can see them for real.
This is the box that it came from Ukraine in, which is so perfect.
Sister.
Oh, there it is. Pegasus?
Pegasus.
Beautiful.
Slava and Anya felt is creature that is a fantastical creature. It is very metaphorical of their future, and that the animations in the film could become almost a time machine to travel into their peaceful past and to look into a place where Ukraine could be free. And it was a beautiful thing because it's not something where you just choose, we're going to add animation to the film. They have their own cinema on these figurines, and it's merely frozen in the glaze. But all the beauty, all the story is there, and with the animation, we can melt this and achieve something that's moving and filled with emotion and the stories that Anya and Slava tell. and it was a deep collaboration. We worked with a Polish animation studio that felt such strong kinship with Ukraine, and they worked studying 20 years of photographs of Anya's art so they could mimic her exact style and honor it. And they drew 7,000 hand-drawn frames, and we mapped these onto the figurines because we could not cut away to a 2D animated world in the spirit of Disney because they cannot leave Ukraine. We needed to remain in the forest, remain next to the rubble. And in this way, when they would draw a brush stroke in Poland, in Warsaw, it would become a glaze here, reflecting the sky and the rubble in Ukraine, where they filmed.
It was amazing opportunity for us. Animation gave us a language to tell about the terrors of war without showing them, like a news does, because news gets old quickly, but beauty never. And also we add to our movie as many culture as we can, because our message, I think, our message of our movie is resistance is possible in any situation for regular people, and it's culture as resistance, and culture is the source of our resilience and the way of our resistance and main target of every aggressor.
Yes, very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.